God, it feels like an eternity since I made one of these videos. What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're doing another Godzilla Vs Kong news and updates. There's a lot to go through here, so we're just gonna try and run through it all, starting out with a pretty impressive fan banner that was made to try and capture the original image that we saw that was released like 2 years ago, almost maybe over 2 years ago. The original Godzilla Vs Kong image we had seen was on a big slate for the movie, and they tried to recreate that using the modern day images of Godzilla and Kong from the current banners circulating. They did a pretty dang good job. We are going to return to this image multiple times throughout the video because the studio just loves to reuse that same image until the end of eternity. King Kong vs. Godzilla, my favorite movie ever, is getting a 4K release in Japan. You'll probably have to import it because that's typically how that works. Man, it'd be nice to have the 4K movies here in America. But either way, if you're really looking forward to having King Kong vs. Godzilla in 4K, sounds like your chance is coming up in not too long. Rebecca Hall is an actress who will be featured in Godzilla vs. Kong. Her role is unknown, but she was recently interviewed and had a little bit, not much, but a little bit to say about the film. She said that Godzilla vs. Kong was a very stressful movie because it was her first job post having a baby. She said she went to Hawaii and Australia to shoot on location, running around through jungles, imagining both Godzilla and Kong in those jungles with her. Whether that's an indication that we're gonna see Godzilla and Kong clash head to head in somewhere like Skull Island, most likely, I don't know. I'd imagine that's what that is implying, is that she did imagine both monsters, as in they were both there clashing on what we know is serving as Skull Island for this movie. Or she could just be saying like, yeah, we went to shoot in these locations and these will be used as cityscapes in the movie. Who knows? Maybe that's what's going on. I have a feeling that the beginning of the movie, Godzilla and Kong will fight on the island, and then they will make their way to Hong Kong for the final battle. Playmates figure line is coming up, and they have released a new statement, just, you know, being like, hey, our new figures are coming out this fall. Anticipate the figure reveals coming between August and October. I'm expecting figures to hit stores anywhere between September to November. Those are just my predictions. We'll have to wait and see if they come true, but that's what I'm predicting because that's the way the licensing deals will probably work out. Yeah, I don't know. They're the ones making the Godzilla vs. Kong toys. Good for them. There's some other vendors who are distributing Godzilla vs. Kong toys who we will talk about in a different video, but for this one, that's all we'll say. For anyone curious, Playmates toys having the Godzilla vs. Kong line is the reason we will not be getting a Godzilla vs. Kong line from NECA until after Playmates license expires. On the new Playmates website, they feature a reworked version of the Godzilla vs. Kong banner. Now, if you had seen the leaked figures, you have seen this version of the banner before. This has been floating around because of the leaked figure pictures for a while, but now we have an official reveal of it. It's the same banner we have seen 10,000 times, except now the colors are a lot more contrasted and there's a little bit more clarity to it, as well as the Godzilla vs. Kong logo is slightly in a different place, giving us a little bit better look at the image itself. There's been some banner evolution pictures that have been put together, but yeah, we've seen this banner so much, it's been done to death. A lot of people are sick of hearing me talk about it, but that's all they're giving us for the meantime, so I'm just gonna keep mentioning it, I guess, every new variation of it we get. And we have yet another new variation of it, or I should say an old variation that's done up a little better. Adam Wingard recently shared a picture on his Instagram story of the Godzilla vs. Kong slate, and in that slate you can see the Godzilla vs. Kong banner, the original image here, so it's flipped from the way we see it on the toy line and everywhere else. Kong is now on the screen left. You know, it is what it is. Nice seeing that in cool HD. I personally was more fascinated by the picture of The Shining that he has here. It's a picture from the end of the movie, but that was just me. I tried to check out the slate here. I cannot believe that there's 186 scenes in this movie, but it looks like they were doing scene 186C when they did this. So I believe that means it's the third setup for scene 186. I'm not really good with slates. I don't entirely know what they all mean, but that's what I think. They did 4 takes of it looks like, and I don't know what else that other stuff is. So that's all that I can basically deduce from that. Interesting to note here that this is the alpha slate. You can see the A here, but behind it there's a different alpha thing going on. Behind it you can see the Apex logo. This is going to be Apex's logo for the new film, so keep an eye out for that. Find it interesting that Apex's logo appears here rather than Monarch's. A brand new Godzilla vs Kong children's book is coming out, and it's, oh man, the title is cringe. Godzilla vs Kong, sometimes friends fight, and then in parentheses, but they always make up afterward. You know, it's a children's book. I'll give them a pass here. This is illustrated by Carol Herring, meaning it is a different children's book than the one that was talked about in the Godzilla vs Kong panel from a few weeks ago. That one is a King Kong specific children's book illustrated by Kiki Thorpe. So they are definitely two different books. This one is slated to come out October 20th for $10, $9.99. So it's around October 20th. We'll see if they hold true to that date, but you never know. Let's just wait and see. The description here says, share the beloved Godzilla and Kong characters with your family in this engaging board book featuring heartwarming lessons in friendship. Making new friends isn't always easy for kids. This is equally true for two giant monsters, where small misunderstandings can easily blossom into enormous conflicts. Godzilla vs Kong, sometimes friends fight, but they always make up afterward, provides tips on how to be a good friend by using these two behemoths to show young kids how to behave in familiar situations, but on a much larger scale. Featuring adorable artwork, Playpop books impart developmental lessons on kids through characters their parents love to promote a shared family. Just generic stuff. The only reason I really wanted to read that was so that you get the idea that this is just a lesson book. I've seen a lot of people overanalyzing the title. Sometimes friends fight, but they always make up afterward. That's not a spoiler. This book is going to have no bearing on the plot of the movie. This is a lesson book for children. This has nothing to do with the movie's plot. I almost guarantee it. Don't worry about that. I don't think that's an indication they'll team up. Stop reading into the one thing that actually you have to read. There was an HD Camazotz image that was revealed during one of the Monsterverse watch-alongs. Figured I'd throw that out here because, you know, it happened and it's cool. Although we have seen newer images of Camazotz since this. This is an HD reveal image reworking the original Comic-Con image from like a year ago or however long ago that happened. Speaking of the new reveals, there was a Legendary Comics panel that I have done a full video breaking down, so I'm not going to spend any time here, but there was a panel reveal trailer and the full panel is posted online. I have those both linked down below. Figured I'd mention it here in the official news format. Zid came out with a statement on Kong's comic. Zid is the artist of the comic. He says the pages from WonderCon at Home are unfinished. So the pages we've seen so far are not the final product. He says more tweets and amendments are to come, and Kong's size is a secret. So we still do not know what Kong's size will be. One thing that I forgot to mention when I talked about the Kong image was that in the picture of Kong, that big tiger by his feet isn't just any tiger. It appears to be a new version of the Holy Tiger, which was a concept for Kong Skull Island that Jordan Vogt Roberts was absolutely in love with, but it was cut from the film. It was originally going to appear and attack some soldiers, but for whatever reason, they just didn't get the chance to do that. And we've seen tons of concept art of it, and we've heard a lot about it from Jordan Vogt Roberts. It looks like he's finally getting a chance to appear in the Monsterverse, albeit he appears dead, but there's more than just one of them, so sure. I can't tell if the one in this image has antlers or not, like the concept art. Some of the concept art has antlers, some of it doesn't. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I can't believe I didn't mention that because I definitely realized that when I made the original video. There was just a lot that I was trying to break down in that video, so I forgot to talk about it. There is all sorts of craziness going on with the release dates for everything Godzilla vs Kong at the moment. Don't be surprised if a delay comes. I'm expecting a delay if we don't get a trailer in 1 month from now. If we don't have a trailer halfway through next month, I'm highly anticipating the movie's delay. Don't quote me on that because it might not be, but that's what I'm expecting. Yeah, there's all sorts of craziness going on. The Godzilla vs Kong art book was moved to November 20th from the 17th, meaning now it will come out alongside the movie. Thank the Lord this happened. Concept art books always feature spoilers for the movies. I could not believe that it was going to drop 3 days before Godzilla vs Kong actually came out. That meant that the concept art for the final battle and for the winner of the movie was going to be spoiled. I'm very happy that it has been pushed back to the date the movie comes out because that means that spoilers will be avoided. But the books have also been moved all over the place. The book, along with the children's book, have been shifting around in release dates anywhere between recent stuff, so like October to November-ish, all the way until 2021. Halfway through 2021, it looks like May 2021 is the other date that they keep bouncing between. Some people see that these are coming out in May 2021. Some people see that they're coming out in November. I don't know what to make of that. A lot of people are speculating maybe the movie's going to be delayed until May 2021. Again, if we don't hear anything within the next 2 months, guaranteed 2 months, the movie's going to be delayed. I can almost guarantee that. So just be prepared for that. Maybe May 2021 would be the moves. I don't know. I haven't looked into the release dates of May 2021, but I still believe that if theaters reopen and reopen successfully within the next month or so, Godzilla vs Kong should be fine. That being said, this whole coronavirus thing is so insane. It's impossible for anybody to truly predict what's going to happen. Maybe moving is for the better. Personally, if it moves, it moves. I will probably be fully on board with the movie getting delayed, because I do think that if it gets delayed, it's getting delayed for very good reasons. Also, for people who are going to complain and be like, oh my god, the movie getting delayed means that the studio has no faith in it, you can stop commenting on my videos. All you're doing is annoying everybody around you. You don't know what you're talking about. Thank you. We're moving on. IMDb shows Godzilla vs. Kong's status has been complete. IMDb isn't the most reliable of sources, so that's either true or it isn't. I don't know. One thing we can say is that a version of Godzilla vs. Kong is complete. I don't know if the status of the full movie is complete, but a version is complete because Godzilla vs. Kong has an official rating. The MPA has officially rated Godzilla vs. Kong PG-13. That's not a shocker to anybody. The only reason that's news is because that means that a near completed version of the film was screened for the MPA, and so they got their rating. Adam Wingard says that that rating is an understatement. He took to Instagram to comment on the fact that there is definitely a little more than moderate kaiju violence in the movie, as Godzilla vs. Kong was rated PG-13 for intense sequences of creature violence, destruction, and brief language. Maybe he was talking about the language. Maybe people are just slinging F-words left and right, and so he's like, it's an understatement. But I have a feeling he's a little more in line with what Michael Dougherty said when Godzilla King of the Monsters was coming out, and that's that the kaiju on kaiju violence will be very brutal in Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm all for that. Because Godzilla vs. Kong is complete, a lot of people are back to speculating on when we will get a trailer. I'm telling you, just be patient. The trailer will come when it comes. But our best bet, and the reason I say a month from now we really should get the trailer, is because SDCC is returning at home. SDCC at home will be held July 22nd through July 26th. So look out for the trailer then. That is our best bet, assuming Godzilla vs. Kong isn't delayed. If Godzilla vs. Kong is delayed, all bets are off. New plot summaries for Godzilla vs. Kong have surfaced on IMDb. These new plots are a little bit more in-depth than the ones we've seen previously, but they're not so in-depth to the point where they're groundbreaking or anything. Our first new summary is, as the gigantic Kong meets the unstoppable Godzilla, the world watches to see which one of them will become the King of the Monsters. Ooh, the King of the Monsters title is officially up for grabs. Go get it, Kong. The second summary says, in a new world where man and monster now coexist, Monarch leads the way to a perilous future alongside the Titans, keeping humanity in check. However, rival factions that want to manipulate the Titans for war begin to rise under the guise of a nefarious conspiracy threatening to wipe out all life from the planet. Meanwhile, on Skull Island, strange seismic activity draws the attention of Godzilla and Kong alike. That second plot description is a lot more in-depth than the first, and it gives us a lot to bite onto. There's a lot there. A lot of that stuff was outlined in my Godzilla vs. Kong pitch. I think we kind of have a little bit of an idea of where this stuff is going. Monsters now keeping man in check while we're coexisting with Godzilla. I think that's all stuff that we've seen in the King of the Monsters credits. Godzilla's trying to keep the Titans in check while they're trying to be nature's balance against the force that is humanity. Rival factions trying to manipulate the Titans for warfare. I could see that being this new Apex group trying to use Godzilla against Kong, trying to weaponize the two monsters against each other, maybe with the Orca, maybe with something else, who knows. Seismic activity on Skull Island. It's probably some Hollow Earth stuff, maybe has to do with the Mechagodzilla setup that we saw in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Could be either of those or both. We'll just have to wait and see. I feel like there's not a ton of use for me breaking down those plots and speculating on all that because I already have like the ultimate speculation on that in my pitch videos. So I've talked about those topics to death at this point, and if you just want to hear more of my thoughts on that, you can go check that stuff out. The new plot summaries though, they did produce one of the greatest videos to ever come out of the fandom, and that was when someone turned Godzilla vs. Kong's new plot summary into the Star Wars opening crawl. That's pretty awesome. I believe that's Mir Goji who did that, and if it is, good job, man. If it isn't, good job whoever did it. This is the big news. This is the big thing everybody's been talking about. Lots of people are very hyped about this, and that is that we now have the official composer for Godzilla vs. Kong confirmed, and it came out of left field, like really far out of left field. I would have never assumed this would have happened. Junkie XL is confirmed to be the composer for Godzilla vs. Kong loosely. It was loosely confirmed by Adam Wingard on Instagram as of the day I'm recording. Interesting. Okay. I've seen some people online say that Junkie XL does not like using previous characters' themes. We'll have to see if that's true. I really hope that's not true, but I have seen people saying that he tries to stray away from it as much as possible. That to me sounds like we're not getting Ifukube music back, but that could be taken with a grain of salt. I don't know. I don't know if that's absolutely true. If you ask me, there's two musts that must happen. We need to hear Ifukube's Godzilla music at least a little bit, and we need to have some sort of King Kong music. Now, my version of what I would do is a little bit different because I wouldn't have had this guy do the composing for the movie. I would have had Henry Jackman, who did Kong Skull Island, compose this movie. That's just what I would have done, or I would have had Bear McCreary do it. One of the two of them. Those were my choices. My third choice was James Newton Howard. So, you know, but I think we do need to hear Ifukube's Godzilla music, and I think we need to hear some King Kong music. Whether that King Kong music be Henry Jackman's Kong music, because it's become the Monsterverse music in a certain sense. That's what they use in a lot of the advertisements on Twitter and everything. I don't know, you could do that. I personally would use the island theme for the movie. That's what I would do. I would work that back into the Godzilla vs Kong music somehow. Or I would go with the Max Steiner music. A lot of people want. A lot of people want Max Steiner's King Kong score from 1933 to be heard at least a little bit in this movie, kind of Ready Player One style. Maybe give it a little bit more grandiose than that. Maybe give it a little bit more time to shine than what we heard in Ready Player One. I don't know. I don't know. This just really threw me off. If you don't know who Junkie XL is, he's done a few movies that people really like the soundtracks for. Mad Max Fury Road being one of the most loved soundtracks he's done. I haven't heard that soundtrack. I've heard the main theme for that movie, and it's strange. Sure, it fits the movie. I haven't seen it, but as for his other soundtracks, he helped out on Deadpool, and then he helped out on Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. I don't know the extent to which he helped out, but he helped on both of those movies. If there's one thing I can say about his style from the soundtracks and scores that I've heard of his, it's that he has a very heavy, distorted tone to his music. It's gritty. His music is very gritty and distorted. It's got a lot of energy. It's like this weird electronic-based music, and it's very heavy on bass and very heavy on distortion. If I had to compare his style to something we've heard in the Godzilla franchise before, it's gonna be something weird. His style is a lot more like, and I don't know how to pronounce either of these guys' names, but I'll give it a shot, Nobuhiko Morino and Daisuke Yano's Godzilla Final Wars soundtrack. That's also a very electronic-based soundtrack with some distortion going on in it, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how he handles this movie. I mean, Batman vs Superman didn't have too much electronic influence, but it definitely had the grit that I'm talking about. We'll just have to wait and see. I hope that Ifukube's music is back. I really, fingers crossed, hope that at the very least Godzilla's theme is heard once. Max Steiner's Kong music would be awesome. That would be the cherry on top. I've seen a lot of people wanting the 1962 King Kong vs Godzilla theme to be remade in a really gritty version. That could be cool too. I don't know. So what do you guys think about all this? Do you guys know a little bit more about Junkie XL than I do? Are you guys a little bit more hyped about that than I am? Because I'll be honest, because it's not one of the composers I was hoping for, I'm not really excited about it until I get a little more information. But at this point, I'm just keeping my hopes up, but I'm not hyped about it. I'm trying to stay optimistic. You know what I'm saying? Let me know down below what you guys think about all this stuff. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.